again, sorry that, being mom taxi is, a full-time job. Even though I feel like shit, there's nothing I can do. But, just feeling like shit with the ear, and not a full-blown ear infection, but, the ear congestion. Just makes me feel sorry for babies, when we have them and they have all these ear infections because the area from their ear to their, their eustachian tubes are so tiny, and the fluid that builds up, if you don't hold them right, then blah 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 blah. I don't fucking know how all they get ear infections, but I get their ear infections all the time, and it just makes you feel so sorry for them as an adult when you get an ear infection, because you're like, God, you poor little thing, you feel like shit, you can't say anything. And then the topic that we're on about whose son, he was sitting there feeling like shit like this. And, he has his narcissistic mother trying to make a fucking payday out of it. And, like I say, the more I watch that, I don't think that he was sick. I think he got a part of a Q-tip stuck in his ear, and Narc Mommy wanted to, make a payday out of it and use it against him, that she had to be inconvenienced to go get him because he did something wrong with the Q-tip, typical narcissistic shit. But anyway, Jules and I know about some information, and you guys may have seen it written in the comments. A couple of people have came forward in the last week with juicy information. Okay, and I guess I'm not, my time's all fucked up, I apologize. So probably like both since Friday. Really juicy shit, right? That we could just go and run with. However, both of these sources are from newer accounts, and they want to stay anonymous. Okay? Totally understandable. Could be legit, right? However, Jules showed the video where LBL goes as low as she can go. Well, shit, you say that and then she goes lower. But where she accused her ex-husband of SAing her son. Okay? So it's not implied, it's nothing. It's her on video saying that she called the police and accused him of it. Okay? And also accused him of SAing his 13-year-old sister. Now, what are the chances that we're going to get these juicy tidbits that are going to give us her location in a scoop that, matches up to exactly what we know about her at the same time? Not high. So I'm being really careful, as is Jules, that we think that, because what does a narcissist do? They deflect. So when you finally bust them on their own horrible actions, and you think you got them boxed into a corner and there's nothing they can do, they deflect. They deflect, they deflect, they deflect. And so until we can be really sure of this other juicy scoop or two, I don't want to go and run with it, because number one, I think it's LBL trolling us so that then she can laugh and say, see, they don't have any information. It's just what they're told, and they go back and they feed, and oh yeah, they're bees, and they take what I give them and they run with it and all that shit. That's all she wants. So then it will give her her minions what they want to hear. And it will serve to detract from the horrible, horrible thing that she did. So, I would like to keep the focus on what she said he did. And I don't want to get my video taken down, and so I'm being really careful of it. So if you guys go and you watch the YouTube that Jules put up, it is LBL sitting there in rare form. Her eyes are like freaking crazy eyes, and she's sitting there and she's on this like tangent where she's talking and she's just going on and on about like what a victim she is. And she's like, and so there I was, this single mother with this 4-year-old and this Arab of a husband, and I catch him blah 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 with his 13-year-old sister closing the door again, and blah blah blah, and he is blah 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 blowing his sons blah 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 blah. And so I call the cops, and they tell me to go this way and him to go this way. And I say he's an Arab. I'm repeating what she's saying Arab, because I don't quite understand why she would be calling him that. I don't get it. He's Turkish. I mean, I don't get it. So please, I'm not saying that word. I'm repeating what she's saying in the way that she's saying it, and I think it's ridiculous. What I truly believe happened is that his sister came over from Turkey because she was 13 and old enough to travel on her own, and she wanted to see her nephew and represent the family in seeing it. And she probably came in and saw the way that LBL treats him and talks down to him, and started talking in ways that LBL couldn't understand, because she didn't make any effort in knowing how to effectively communicate with her husband, who did not speak the same language that she did as his first language. And so she started getting jealous that they had a connection, and they were talking in ways that she wasn't able to dominate the conversation. And so she started fights with them, and so he took his son and his sister and shut the door, and she threw a fit and was like, if you don't open this door, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops, because narcs use cops as their personal security. They don't like the cops when they're called on them, but they love to call the cops first and foremost, so the cops can't see what's really going on, and then they play the victim in front of the cops. So what I truly believe is that he went to a private place with his sister to get away from her abuse. She banged on the door and did everything like, this is my place. I'm going to have you deported. I'm going to have you sent back. I'm going to call immigration and have you and your sister sent back. I'm going to do this. If you don't open this door, you're never going to see your son again. You don't open this door, I'm going to call the cops, blah, blah, blah. So she calls the cops. What are the cops going to do? Because he lives there, he's on the lease, or however it was. Probably she didn't let him be on the lease, knowing her with her power shit. But what's she going to say to the police? That they were in an argument and he wanted to be safe and not have his sister involved in the chaos? No. She's going to go to the most ruthless place that she can go, because that's what a narcissist does, to detract from their bullshit of just pulling a power trip. And so that's what she did. And she used the SA that night. There is no proof anywhere that Goonie did that. And if he truly did that, then why did she continue to try to forge a relationship between him and his son in the ways that she did, manipulating him and saying, oh, you're not going to see him, you're not going to see him, you're not going to see him. Well, I tried, just as she admitted with the loans. Well, if she tried, and she tried, and then if she tried, and all this stuff, why would she try if he actually did that? You know what I mean? So it's just another bullshit narc lie. It's just another one of her things. So what I'm trying to do is not take the focus off of what she accused him of, and that there is no proof of it, and that she continued to try to have him be there. Now, when he continued on the vernacular of, I'm not being alone with him because of what you accused me of, I'm not going to go to prison, because she accused him of trying to kidnap her son, etc., etc. Now, she went and ran with that to the authorities, and that's where she ended up getting the full welfare, not having to say who the father was, so she could get full welfare, not knowing the father, blah, 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 blah. questionable whether or not he was on the birth certificate because of this. So, in other words, she got a huge payday for her false allegations, and she went with it. But her behavior of trying to get them together does not reflect what somebody would if they truly believed that somebody had done that to their child. So, like I say, let's keep the focus on what she said, and we know. So compare what she said he did and compare that with what she did when she just tried to trick him into the loan papers. And let's keep the focus on that until we evaluate if the other things are true. All right, Bakers, have a great week. Over and out. Thanks for listening, and do your best to avoid the fucking COVID. All right, bye-bye.